Am I the only one who feels like this came out of absolutely fucking nowhere? I mean, sure, we had a week of like notices and teasers and everything. Prior to this, I felt like we were nowhere near to an update. I was not ready for this bombshell. This update is huge, and I'm going to show you some things that I've gathered about this, and it's called the Rekindled world. This honestly might be my favorite update they have ever dropped. Now, let's first talk about the trailer. This thing is absolutely fucking massive. It got 41k views in 6 hours, and I'm not going to go over the entire trailer, but you can kind of see, just skimming through, like, they changed a lot of things. Look at the Orpheon. It's got moving parts. It's crazy. It's not just this statue. And there's a lot more things to look at. It's got world events. It's got new bosses. It looks like Wynncraft is starting to try to work on like actually selling Wynncraft as a game. Like, look at this. It's got custom models for all sorts of creatures and everything. Look at that. Like, they got pigs. You got goats. You got chickens, spiders, mushrooms, even, it seems like these are already in Minecraft, but I guess they're just adding them themselves now, and I honestly respect it. That's super cool. And obviously they changed the UI as well. They kept the sprint bar, I guess, but looks like they adopted everything from Windtails and tried to put in the main game. Not to mention they're changing the actual UIs. Please change the crafting menus, I'm begging. I mean, dare I say this is a obvious improvement from, you know, what it used to be. Look at that. And obviously, a lot of people know that Wynncraft has actually been seeing some competition, namely Monumenta and Spellforged. Spellforged has especially been talked about by a lot of my friends because they've been adding a lot of things that, you know, kind of rivals Wynncraft. It's kind of looking like Wynncraft's in trouble. Just look at this. Now, call me crazy, but I think that is insane. And obviously, a lot of people are super impressed by this. You know, after seeing something like that, you're kind of like, okay, maybe Wynncraft is in a little bit of trouble, right? But no, it actually looks like Wynncraft is redoing everything. They're really elevating the game. Let's start with the music. Now, this is Wynncraft music as it currently is. This is the Rogni theme. And this is what they just dished out. How did they do that? And why weren't they doing it before? Now, we already knew they were working on other music, like Maple Chimes, for example. Like, dude, that actually just sounds like another game that does not sound like Minecraft. That is so cool. So that wasn't the biggest surprise, but elevating music is a huge deal to me. And I'm honestly kind of excited to turn music back on in Wynncraft. Now, let me show you something else. This was shown in the trailer, but this is actually the world events they just added. And honestly, I really feel like this elevates Wynncraft to like what an MMO should feel like outside of Minecraft. Like, look at this. You got the countdown and the load up. How crazy is that? And you got, obviously, you have like load up animations for all the other bosses too. Like the Greg right here. I think that looks so cool. I love his redesign so much. But you also have redesigns for all of the bosses too. TCC is huge to me, dude. You used to just slap blocks with funny numbers on them, but now it's like an actual full-fledged NPC that swings a sword at you. What? And obviously you got NOTG Worm. That fight used to suck. I'm so excited for it now. It looks so sick. And obviously you have NOL too. Look at these light dashes it tosses at you when you're being attacked. Here's some more Greg gameplay right here. Like, look Look at it. It walks with its arms. It's so cool. It's no longer just a floating deity. This thing actually sprawls after you. That is ridiculous. But here's one of the bigger things that's actually coming out of this update that I'm really excited for. But to start us off, here is Gambits right here. You can obviously enable these things to make your raids harder for presumably more rewards at the end. Like hitting a mob 3 times will grant immunity to your attacks for 1 second, or for each 1% HP you have, you increase your spell's mana cost by plus 1%, or your spells cost at least 20 mana. These are just the general like things they provided us. There's probably going to be a lot more. But hey, look, improved party finder. I always thought it was pretty ridiculous how you could just queue a party and everybody, it's like a trust thing. You trust all of the other people who you just queued into a party with to give the leader 1 toll rune. And God, I've seen so many fights about toll runes before. I think I had it in my P-Finder video. That was really funny. But now it automatically just takes the toll runes from the players. There's no need to just take it from the party leader. And there's guild raids. Dude, I am so excited about guild raids. I don't think I've ever publicly talked about my stance on raiding on either of my channels, but raiding is the main reason why I play Wynncraft right now. And honestly, I feel like I'm a bit overqualified to talk about this subject. Now it looks like they added these little events, like world events too, because world events are a big theme of this update. And it seems that they're just kind of scattered across the map randomly, and you can just randomly, you know, encounter them and get some rare loot out of them. I think that's super cool. But there's also the big bad world event that is literally timed. I'm hoping personally that you can tackle this with a ton of players, not even in a party. I'd love to see like the form of like a world event where you have like 20 players fighting the exact same boss. There's nothing cooler than the feeling is like, damn, I'm actually playing an MMO. Look at all the people I'm playing with. Then obviously they changed dungeons and LI too, it looks like. That is ridiculously in depth. Dude, who on the content team is popping Adderall? Then also you have some changes in the buildings too. This isn't really new. Wynncraft always does this. I'm not super surprised, and honestly I don't really care that much. I think the builds look fine. The main ones I'm particularly keen about is like the portal, I guess, and Mount Wynn. Dude, Mount Wynn is so ugly. I don't like how it looks. I'm really glad they changed that. Like, look, this one actually has personality, but this one just, I don't want to climb that. That doesn't look fun. This does look fun. I'd love to climb that. It's just little features like that that make the game way cooler, obviously. But like, as far as, I guess, the dungeon goes, do I care? No, I don't care. A church. Guys, I'm so excited for the church update. Oh my God. Yeah, oh no. It's cool to see that they're changing buildings, but I'm like, I'm not quite seeing the, oh wow, that building definitely improved. That's like, it looks like they just replaced a fancy boat with another really fancy boat. Oh wow, look at this walkway. Here, let's make this hill slightly taller and add a curve around it. That's really cool. I guess that actually does kind of look cool. But still, I just can't bring myself to care too much about that. But here's one thing I am really excited about. Look at this. Now, obviously, you're familiar with the classic health bars on mobs. I think they look hideous. It is literally just coloring characters above a mob's head. I think it looks hideous. This has a real health bar. Look at that. That's not Minecraft. Dude, it looks like you just pulled this out of a Steam game. It's got like a little pixel art around it too. It's not, I don't know. And then you got soul points and scrap. These two were actually pretty controversial on Wynncraft, in my opinion. I don't think you'll find many people in Wynncraft right now who are a big fan of the soul points and scrapping system. In fact, scrapping keeps so many people away from crafters. They are just so daunting and expensive. And then soul points is it's why so much complication and waiting just to play your silly little block game. And it looks like they've removed soul points. They're gone. Which Wynncraft posted here. They literally removed the soul point from your hotbar. And it looks like they removed it from teleportation scroll charges too. Like, look at this. This is what it looks like when you're using a teleportation scroll. Dude, you even get like a little cutscene when you go to the city. That's so cool. And I think this is probably one of the best things they could have added. Maybe not the scroll charge thing. I think that's great, but I don't think it's the main selling point. It's the removal of repair scrap and soul points. You can see people complaining about it here. Repair scrap is kind of blows. A lot of people don't really like it. This is a little thread created about it. And this person made the idea to remove repair scrap, make repairing cost emeralds instead, and just save time and storage space. And it looks like they made that a suggestion, and it it looks like it got accepted because, like, look at this. Like, come on, you repair by simply using emerald. They yoinked it from the guy, all right? And then you don't even have to think that hard about soul point. Everybody has talked about soul point. Like, look at this. People are so happy. Oh, there's that person again. Wow, they okay, yep, they yap a lot. Holy shit. But there is one piece of drama in this update, I feel like, that hasn't really been addressed. Now, Salted released a teaser for this bingo card for the update before the trailer dropped, and a lot of people were really hyped about a lot of these changes they were talking about. Like new class, world bosses, this was added, removal soul points, this was added, but we're not seeing a new boss altar. We're not seeing an ocean update. We're not seeing a guilds rework. And these are some pretty hot topics in the community. These are a lot of things that people want to see changed, especially guilds rework. Nelson had a whole video about that, and a lot of people really want to see that change. Me, personally, I was really excited for the return of swarms. And if you don't know what swarms are, it was basically like this thing back in Wynncraft where they'd spawn like a ton of zombies and they'd like invade a city. You can actually see Salted in the chat there. That's pretty funny. And honestly, to me personally, I feel like a lot of people miss these. Like, see, oh. I should probably reply to that guy. But it looks like they decided to stick to the world events instead, which honestly fair. I don't think swarms were great for server TPS. And while it looks fun, like, dude, that's a lot of mobs and players in one spot, probably creating lots of lag. God forbid you put like 30 bolt slingers in one area. But this brings up the topic, what's gonna happen to the current metas? Obviously with an update this big, there's probably gonna be a lot of balance changes and new builds that'll probably be going around. Right now the metas are basically just bash scream, charge spam, and kata. And I think it's fair to say there's probably gonna be a removal of some of those metas in addition of some others. With an update as big as just a super raid heavy update, I really doubt nothing is gonna be changed. Something has gotta be changed somewhere, and a lot of people are super worried about that. And honestly, in my opinion, you kinda just gotta prepare yourself for the worst. I think like 6 months past the release of this update, there's gonna be a storm. And through that storm, we're gonna have to weather through it and kind of just figure out what's gonna work, what's gonna get nerfed, and try to find like what's actually going to suit this new era of raiding. This is huge. And I can see why people are worried about this. Now, some advice that I would offer is pick more than one class. You should not be sticking to one class, because a lot of people who I know who only play one class, if their class gets nerfed, they're quitting the game. And if it gets buffed, they're coming right back. And that is it. But if you're playing multiple classes, it's gonna be a lot easier to stick to Wynncraft and keep having fun with the content. Like, I'm really enjoying Shaman right now, but I'm personally really comfortable with Warrior and Archer as well. And honestly, for something like this, I think it's just best to have the mindset of, hey, this is gonna be shit, but we're gonna get through this and we're gonna have a good time. Again, I just think it's hard to have an update that's like this big and just not really have any issues with it. But overall, it's still a pretty good update. I'm just saying you probably shouldn't be getting pissed off when something this big is going to have some rather large growing pains. I feel like it's kind of impossible for it not to. Also, one more thing, thank you for the support on the main channel. I have no idea how 5 fucking videos got me to 1K, but I welcome that, and honestly, it's kind of weird to know that many people really like my content. Really soon here, I'm pretty excited for it. I am going to start live streaming on the main channel soon. I'm probably going to start doing some challenges, probably some raiding, and any highlights from that will probably go straight onto this channel. Anyways, that's about it. I'm gonna go take a shit. See ya.